Not because I don't trust myself, but because I'm being professional. But there's even dust in there I'm gonna grab so it doesn't get on my brush. And you want to clean the dust off anyway. I could take the door off, but it's like, who cares, right? Let's just get this done. You get it? Look at that. Nice. Okay, that will go on the face of the next. Down in here. I want to grab all that dust. I'm going to get it. Cool. All right. That's prepped out. Oh my God. Sorry guys, I found a spot on the table that needs some love. Okay. Before I get going too deep on that. Nice.
We're taking Koo out for a walk over in Hope. There's a nice land trust there. So if we
Lovely.
come home and we're probably having your lunch or something. But I just want to
All
let
right.
you know where our plans are.
Okay.
That's great. See you in a bit.
Yeah, see ya.
Okay, Koo, it's all about you. It's all about you, young man. Let's go for it. Car ride to Hope.
Just going through with a little spot paint. Trying to get the worst sort of prepared for that first coat. Any of the darker spots that'll end up showing a lot, I'm definitely just kind of attacking that a little bit. So I'm not doing a full coat right now. It's called a spot paint. just kind of getting those areas that are gonna fight me and flash through my final. Okay. Ooh. That's just a light touch in there. Some big cracks there. Figured I'd kind of give that a little prep. You always want to set your lines. Never leave paint that with a brush stroke that is opposite or not same, not parallel with your wood grains. Okay. Light little spot paint. Really showing me the areas that I haven't prepared yet, to be honest. I gotta take those hinges off. I didn't want to take the hardware off that door until I'm ready to paint it because it's an exterior door. People will be using it. And there'll be a hole. I mean, I can cover it with a rag, but I don't want to go and, you know, there's just no sense take it off till I need to. Yep, see, that's another spot. So I'm gonna want to take these off for sure. 100%. Well, that's good though. That's another thing that a spot paint does help with, is kind of shows you where you're lacking and how you're gonna, you know, reminder to do more prep, because more prep means better quality. So remember, I'm not doing a full coat right now, but this is gonna be a heavily used area. So some things I will do a full body, kind of board to board, if I know it's gonna need a little more love than just the 2-coat or 1-coat process that we're gonna be painting. And that's perfectly fine. You can give things as many coats as you want, really. I go until it looks right to the eyeball. So right now I'm fighting off all those little stains, all that blemish stuff. We're getting rid of that. Black dots, gaps and cracks, holes, whatever. Whatever is in the way, we're getting rid of it. See right there? Gotta get rid of it. Nice. Okay, I don't see any more. Well, we got some bare wood there. We can address the bare. I like to get the bare wood prepped. And the big holes, if like whatever the caulking didn't get, it's like it's okay to go back through with just a paintbrush. Just if it's a small hole, usually I say a centimeter or less. A centimeter or less is okay to fill with paint. I believe it's a centimeter. Don't quote me, but you know, the super small lines, paint can penetrate that and hold the gap. But other than that, if it's bigger, you're gonna want caulking to fill a lot of the gaps and cracks. Okay. There we go. Here's a big one. See that? That just needs to be touched. It's just gotta be hit. Like before the coat process starts. Plus it shows me this system that I'm doing a spot paint. It also kind of shows me what I'm looking forward to. How the paint's gonna react to what I'm, you know, my task at hand. How much flashing we're gonna have. It kind of tells me if I should go a different direction or if the direction I'm using right now is fine. And I see no problem with this. I can let this cure up, give it a really fine scuff sand. Even though it's gloss, you know, your first coat you can scuff down just you know, with wicked fine sandpaper or a sanding sponge. And that will kind of get rid of any more blemishes that you have. And then you give it that last coat, second or third coat even. You can even do 3 coats. So we could treat this coat as just a primer. Well, this is already a spot primer. But once I go around and do a formal coat, I could treat that as just a priming coat, sand it down really well, and then give it 2 more coats after that. There really is no limit with paint. It's just what appeases your eyeball. You know, That's when you know you're done, is when your eyeballs are satisfied. But some people don't know what to look for. I know I didn't. Before I started painting with really high-end painters, I had no clue. You know, I said to myself, well, how hard is it to, swing a brush all day? Well, swinging the brush really isn't the problem. It's knowing the ins and outs of the chemistry of the paint, of what people are looking for. You know, if you leave gaps and cracks because you didn't know that that's something that people care about, well, then you lose, you know what I mean? So there's certain ways that, oh God. So there's just certain things about the paint world that even I'm still learning today. You know, I try to learn something new every day if I can, because I like to learn. But I also like to teach. I have to admit, teaching is fun. As long as the person's actually trying to learn. If they're trying to learn, and you know, it's a proactive training session, oh, I get right into it. I geek out, I have fun, I nerd out with the information aspect. And if I'm training with someone that I'm teaching, that I'm learning from, I love asking educated questions. And I like to be asked educated questions because it allows me to expound on my teachings and think of things in different ways and learn from that. So basically, I've even taken some aspects of training and spun it and done it my own way, which is absolutely fine as long as you get the product that the eyeballs are looking for. You know, your clients, etc. Because if you don't produce, you ain't getting paid. That's how it is in this world. But I gotta let you guys go. I have to go meet up with Mama Tink. We're gonna have a quick lunch, come back, and basically, I'm gonna finish prepping because I realize now I need to tape those inner runners. I need to tape off those hinges. I probably should just take the doorknob off, but it's an exterior door, so I didn't want them to lose security, etc. Either way, I've spot painted, so I kind of, I've gone through and got the worst of what I'm going to be painting. Stuff like this. You see how dirty that is? You just come through with fresh paint and you kind of get it up to speed to where everything else is. That way, when you paint this, a nice formal coat, you can leave a real nice formal coat and not have all that ugly flashing coming through your nice paint job. So we call this a spot paint. It's just a spot paint. Put the paint on, wipe it off formally, and it's done. Check this one, of course. Give that a little spot paint. Now you just took your worst and quite effortlessly are gonna make it one of your best when you go through and do your formal. Because you're gonna let that dry. So the worst part of this whole window is now going to be either matched up or accept this formal paint better than the other average. So this is just always gonna get damaged. And as you can see, I'm coming through with a light coat here. I want it to be light. So a spot paint or a spot prime, you do not want a thick coat at all. You know, optimally. You see this blue in here? We're just gonna kind of get down in there. And it's really not about coverage right now. Like formality, it's just about coverage, sorry. So it's not about formality, it's more about covering the hide, H-Y-D-E, hide of that blue paint. So now it's white. I don't have big robin's egg blue popping out of my white paint. I come through with my formal coat and I'm not fighting it. I can just lay a nice formal coat. I don't have to put more anywhere to make it, to hide all the bad stuff. Okay. Yes. So I'll put my paint away. I like to put water on this, just a little bit. Especially with a high gloss. You know, we're using gloss on this trim, so that's gonna really crumble up and turn into a bunch of little dried up paint curds. You know, so you wanna keep that brush wet. Right here, the pail, I'm gonna take a wet rag. I'm gonna take a wet rag like this. We're gonna wrap this up. I'm gonna pull it back, wrap this brush up, and then wrap that in plastic. Now that paint, that water won't dissipate, precipitate, whatever. Right, wet rag right over my pail, just like that. Now, a bag, right down tight, pull this way, pull that way, tuck it in. Now you've got wet rag over your pail, plastic holding it, same with this. Those will stay wet, just as wet as they are right now, just as wet as they would stay in that paint pail itself, the original paint bucket. Gonna have lunch. I'll catch you guys later. I will have Tinkerbell and Bella, Arabella, here when we return. Please remember to hit that like, hit that subscribe. I know I look like a werewolf. I need a shave and a shower. I'll catch you guys in a little bit. We'll be back. I will be back in about a half an hour. If you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe. Thank you for watching. I can't wait to get this place painted out. We'll get the trim done, then we'll cut in the body. It's gonna be beautiful.